Hello everyone, myself B. Vijaya, lecturer in chemistry, working in Indira Priyadarshini Government Degree College for Women, Nampalli. We are discussing the chapter called Coordination Compounds. In the coordination compounds, we are discussing about Werner's theory today. And the illustration 1. So he has given some illustrations in order to explain the structures of the this cobalt complexes. Means this is just like a proof, right? So proof for his theory means in order to justify his postulates he has given this illustrates, and in this illustrates the illustration 1, which is having a molecular formula that is cobalt trichloride. In all the illustrations he has taken the same molecular formula and some number of or excess of ammonia molecules. So this is the molecular formula he has taken, and molecular formula of this particular complex is, let us see now, let us predict now. So here the central metal ion or atom is cobalt, and this central metal atom is having a, what is the oxidation state here. So by this, actually by this we can predict the formula also. How we will predict this formula, let us see now. So cobalt, for this molecule, for this structure I am writing, so cobalt hexaamine, hexaamine cobalt Cl3. Why? Because this Cl3, three chloride ions are with the dotted lines here. These chloride ions are satisfying a primary valency, that is the oxidation state, right? Primary valency, that is oxidation state, it is satisfying, right? Oxidation state, oxidation state of a central metal ion, and these are binded with the central metal atom with the what dotted lines here. We can see these are with the dotted lines, and these are non-directional ones, non-directional. But if you see ammonia, six ammonia ligands are there, they are binded with the cobalt with the stronger bonds. That is the reason there is intimate association is there between the cobalt and the ammonia. So because of this reason, these six ammonia ligands which are bonded with the cobalt with the solid lines, they are inside the square brackets here. So these are non-ionizable ligands, and these are ionizable ligands. These are ionizable ligands, and these are non-ionizable ligands. Ionizable ligands. So if you ionize this particular molecule into a some electrolyte, means if you dissolve this compound into a water on hydrolysis, this is called as a hydrolysis process. So it can be splitted into, it can be dissociated into cobalt, ammonia, NH3 taken 6 times, and plus 3 plus 3 chloride ions, right? So this is the cation we are getting, and anion we are getting, anions, right? So how many anions are there? 3 anions are there, and here 1 cation is there. So total how many ions? 4 ions are present. 4 ions are present in this, means this particular complex is giving the 4 ions here, right? And because of this 4 ions, actually there is a some conductivity measurement also. Almost the conductivity is the 430, because of this 4 ions are present in the solution. So 430 ohms conductivity it is generating because of floating of this four ions. So how many total number of ions are there? One cation is there. This is one single cation, and three anions are there. So 1 plus 3 is 4 ions, right? So 4 total number of ions, 4 ions are there. And if this particular, means how can we know there are the three chloride ions are there in ionizable sphere, means ionization sphere is when this particular complex is subjected to react with a silver nitride. So plus silver nitride I am writing here. I'm going to write total complex, this whole complex I am writing. So cobalt NH3 6 times and Cl3. So since three chloride ions are there, and when it is treated with some excess of AgNO3, so it is forming the complex is silver compound is the curdy white PPT is silver chloride AgCl3, sorry, AgCl, silver chloride it is forming. And how many AgCl it is forming? 3 moles of the silver chloride it is giving. 3 moles of the silver chloride it is giving. That means this particular 1 mole of this particular complex, when it is reacted with the 3 moles of the silver nitride, it is giving a 3 moles of silver chloride. This is a solid PPT separating out from this complex. So that it is a proof that there are the three chloride ions are present, because it is giving a 3 moles of the silver chloride. So it is the proof that 3 chloride ions are present in the ionization sphere, or these 3 chloride ions are acting as a what the ionizable ions, right? Ionizable ions. So they are present, they are ionizable into a ions in the dissociation. But here this cobalt, hexaamine cobalt ion, this cannot be dissociating here. So only these chlorides are giving a characteristic test with the halogen test, that is when it is reacted, when it is subjected to react with the silver nitrate, it is giving a 3 moles of silver chloride molecule, means a solid PPT it is giving. So this is the proof that this molecule, this particular molecule is having a, means inside the coordination sphere there are the 6 ammonia ligands are there. So these 6 ammonia ligands are balancing the coordination number. So these are non-ionizable. These are non-ionizable, and whatever the 3 chloride ions are there in the ionization sphere, which are balancing the primary valency. So what is the proof of that? When it is subjected to react with the 3 moles of the silver nitride, it is giving 3 moles of silver chloride as a product. So this is the illustration 1, and which is a proof for his postulates. And the illustration 2. So now the same, means it is having the same molecular formula with the here cobalt, uh, here Cl3, and how many ammonias are there? 5 ammonias are there. 5 ammonias are there. So this is the molecular formula of this particular complex, and in this particular complex, when this is subjected to react with a, means cobalt trichloride and 5 ammonia, 5 ammonia molecules, this particular compound which is having this configuration, this is when subjected to react with a silver nitride, means the halogen test we are doing here. So in order to know how many number of anions present in the ionizable ions present in the outside the coordination sphere, that means in ionization sphere. So now this particular complex is giving only the 2 moles of the silver chloride. But actually how many chlorides are there? Cl3 is there, right? 3 chloride ions are there. But here the 2 moles are 2 moles of the silver chloride only it is giving. So, what is the reason for that? What is the reason for that is, so he concluded that this 2 chloride ions, whatever the 2 chloride ions are there, they are outside the coordination sphere, right? Like this, coordinate cobalt and ammonia 5 are there, and one Cl is inside the coordination sphere, and the two Cls are in ionization sphere. So because of this reason, means only 2 chlorides are giving 2 chlorides, means 2 chloride is precipitating with the silver nitride. So these 2 chlorides are giving this PPT product it is giving, because there are the ionization sphere. These 2 chloride ions are present in the ionization sphere, and they are attached to the cobalt ion with the dotted lines, weaker bonds they are attached. So they are outside the coordination sphere, and they are bonded with the central metal ion with the weaker bonds. So they can be dissociated very easily on reacting with a silver nitride, and they are giving their characteristics test. But whatever the chloride is there inside the square bracket, this chloride is having a intimate association with the cobalt, because this chloride is balancing, satisfying the primary valency of the central metal cation as well as the coordination number also. So here the coordination number of this particular complex is 6 only. Coordination number of cobalt here is also 6. So it is balancing both. That is the reason he justified that this chloride is attached to the central metal atom with the solid line with stronger bond as well as the dotted line also. So it is much more stronger than even ammonia molecules attached to the cobalt, right? So here the this ammonia 5 ammonia molecules are there, and this Cl is there, and this Cl, whatever the Cls are far away from the cobalt which are present in the ionization sphere, they are non-directional ones, and they are far away from the cobalt also. So here whatever the ligands which are present inside the coordination sphere, they are attached with the cobalt with the solid lines, means stronger bonds, and they are having a intimate association, and because of that reason these are non-ionizable, right? Non-ionizable, but these are ionizable, and that is the reason they are giving the 2 moles of silver chloride. And when this particular complex dissociates into the water, into the ions in presence of water, so the complex will be like this, 2 plus and 2 chloride ions, right? So because of this reason these are ionizable ions, and they balance only primary. This will balance the primary as well as the secondary, and these are balancing the primary valency only, right? So the coordination number is fixed number, that is 6, and since coordination number is 6, this is a octahedral geometry because it is having a fixed dimensions in this way. So fixed dimensions in this way. The square planar bipyramidal like this. So octahedral geometry. This is the illustration 2. And the illustration 3, which is having the molecular formula is cobalt. And how many ammonias are there? 4 ammonias are there. How many chlorides are there? 3 chlorides are there, and 4 ammonias. four ammonia molecules are there. So when he treated the cobalt trichloride with the 4 moles of the ammonia, and he got some colored complexes. So one is the green color and another one is the violet color complex. And here this is, yeah, I forgotten to tell you, is here the total number of ions, how many are there? This is the one ion, okay, one ion, complex ion, one ion it is giving, and the plus two chloride ions are there. So number of ions here, if there is a number of ions here, we have to see. So there is no number, that is means it is a one ion plus one cation, one cation, one cation plus two anions. Two anions are present, and because of this reason, this is also because three ions are present here, right? Total number of ions are three ions are present, and because of this reason, it is giving a three for three ions. It is giving a 230 conductivity, molar conductivity range is 230 per ohm, right? Per ohm, this is the conductivity it is giving. And this particular complex now, this is having a solid lines, with the solid lines with ammonias are attached, and two chloride ions are attached to the cobalt with the dotted lines as well as the solid lines. That means these two chloride ions are also inside the coordination sphere only, but this one Cl is outside the coordination sphere. So let us write a chemical formula of this particular complex in coordination complexes. So cobalt and H3 taken 4 times, 4 ammonias are there, and how many chlorides are inside now? 2 chlorides, because these 2 chlorides are balancing a primary as well as the secondary valency. So Cl2 and 1 Cl is outside the coordination sphere, and when it is dissociates in the in presence of water, dissociates into ions in presence of water, this will be dissociating in this way. Cobalt, ammonia taken 4 times, and Cl2 plus 1 Cl minus, that means here 1 plus. Okay, so this is the one cation and plus one anion. So total number of ions, how many? Two ions are present. So if the two ions are present, the molar conductivity ratio range is the 100 per ohm. 100 per ohm, the molar conductivity. So this is the what this is the evidence that this particular complex is giving the two ions. Among them, one is the cation and another one is the anion. So this is one evidence. And how many number of anions are there? So how to know that? When this particular complex is subjected to react with a silver nitrate, which is giving only 1 mole of silver chloride only. This particular complex is giving 1 mole of silver chloride. That means only one chloride is there in the ionization sphere. That chloride is reacting with a, means it is forming a PPT with silver nitrate test, that is halogen test. So these two chlorides are having a, means they are not giving this silver nitrate test. Why? Because they are present inside the coordination sphere, and they are having a much more strong bonds. As per Werner's theory, they are having a much more stronger bonds with the cobalt, central metal cobalt atom. So the geometry of this particular complex is again octahedral geometry. Why it is octahedral geometry? Because the total number of ligands here is 6. The coordination number is 6 only. So for coordination number 6, there is a means they are having a fixed dimensions here. But this chlorine, which is far away from the atom, this central metal ion, so which is a non-directional one. But these ligands, whatever the ligands are satisfying the secondary valency coordination number, those are having a fixed geometry, fixed dimensions in the space. So that will give the octahedral geometries. So this is the illustration 3 and illustration 4. Now if you see this particular molecule, this is having a cobalt trichloride and 3 moles of ammonia. 3 moles of ammonia is there, and this particular complex is not giving any test with the silver nitrate. So silver nitrate test it is not giving, means there are no chloride ions are there in the ionization sphere. Ionization sphere, there are no chloride ions are there, because silver nitrate test it is not giving. So there is means silver nitrate is not forming into a silver chloride. But since it is having a 3 chloride ions are there, these 3 chloride ions as per Werner's theory are having a intimate association with a central metal ion, and they are forming a they are satisfying balancing a primary valency as well as the secondary valency also. So that is the reason they are represents with the solid as well as the dotted lines. And what will be the molecular formula of this particular complex now? The molecular formula of this particular complex is NH3 taken 3 times, and all the 3 chlorides are inside the square bracket only. There are no chlorides are there in the ionization sphere, and this particular complex does not carrying any charge, so it is a neutral complex. But here cobalt is carrying a oxidation state, that is +3. How it is carrying a +3 oxidation state? Let us calculate now. If we don't know cobalt oxidation state, so let us take X for the cobalt, and ammonia is carrying a 0 oxidation state. So 3 ammonias are there, but 3 ammonias carrying a 0 oxidation state. And chloride, each chloride carries a -1 oxidation state, which is equal to 0, because there is nothing is there in the means above the this complex. So 0 oxidation state, since it is a neutral complex. So X plus 0 into 3 will be 0 only. So I am skipping this, writing 0. Here +3 into -1. So which will become -3, which is equal to 0. So plus into minus, again it is a -3 is equal to 0. So x is equal to this -3 comes this side, and it changes its convention into the +3. So cobalt here is having a +3 oxidation state due to what? Because this ammonia is a neutral ligands only. So only chlorides are satisfying this primary valency, that is +3 oxidation state, right? So because of that reason, this chloride is satisfying the primary valency, as well as since they are 3 ammonia ligands, 3 chloride ligands are there, so that they are having a coordination number is 6. That means this chlorides also satisfying the coordination number, means secondary valency also. And since it is not giving any test with the silver nitrate, so there are no chlorides are there outside the coordination sphere. This is the illustration. And how many number of ions are there? Since it is a neutral molecule, neutral complex, right? So zero ions are present. Zero ions are present. So if zero ions are present, it is not having any cation or anion in its solution. So it cannot be ionizable, right? The secondary valency, the ligands which are satisfying the secondary valency cannot be ionizable. So zero ions are there. So there is no molar conductivity ratio, right? There is no or zero molar conductivity range. So they are not forming any ions. So all these four are the illustrations in order to explain the postulates of the Werner's coordination theory. So we are going to discuss applications of Werner's theory now. So in applications of Werner's theory, as per Werner's theory, what we can learn from the Werner's theory? Let us see now. So the first one is the more important one is the molecular formula. So till that moment, till 1893, until he has given this theory, nobody has predicted the molecular formula of the coordination compounds. But along with the principles or postulates given by the Werner's theory, we can predict the molecular formula of the coordination compounds, exact molecular formula of the coordination compounds. How we can predict the molecular formula? Because till that moment they have the confusion that what is the molecular formula, how they are forming, because every metal is having its some valency, right? Some x valency is there, and according to as per that only it can form the number of bonds. If here 1 is there, plus 1 is there, then it can form only one bond. If plus 2 is there, it can form only two bonds. That is the conventional chemistry. But coordination complexes are not conventional. They are the typical ones. That is the reason they might kept the name. These coordination compounds are called as the complex molecules. So these are forming the complexes not with the this valency. Some other thing is there, some other compounds are there. So that is the reason, as per Werner's theory postulates, what is the first postulate? Every metal atom is having the two types of the valency. This is the first type of the valency. This is called as the oxidation state. This is called as the primary valency, right? Primary valency. And also this metal atom is also having a secondary valency. This is called as the coordination number. Coordination number. And this coordination number is fixed number, and it cannot be dissociated from the metal complex. It is a fixed number only, and which determines the even geometry of the molecules also, which we will discuss later. So coordination number we can know, whatever the number is there, number of the ligands are there, from that also we can know the coordination number. So as per the first postulate given by the Werner, we can know that every metal atom is having a two types of the valency. One is the oxidation state and another one is the coordination number. And here one more interesting thing is, till that moment, means he has uh, uh, introduced this theory in the year 1893, but he doesn't know the theory of valency. The electronic theory of valency he doesn't know at that time, right? He doesn't know the electronic theory of valency at that time, but he has predicted that there is a two types of the valencies are there. He does not use this terminology also, oxidation state and coordination number. He has simply given that this is the primary valency. So two types of the valencies every metal atom is having. One is the primary and another one is the secondary valency. So with this we can predict the exact molecular formula. Already we have discussed the illustrations, right? So in the illustration, the example, one example I am taking again. So if cobalt, 6 molecules are there, and this is the formula of the cobalt. So if means as per his theory, this secondary, whatever the number of ligands are attached to the central metal cation, these are comes under the secondary valency. They are satisfying the secondary valency. So these are inside the coordination number, inside the coordination sphere, and whatever the ligands which are satisfying the oxidation state, primary valency, and they are the anions which are outside the coordination sphere, and they are in the ionization sphere. Ionization sphere, that's why they are called as the ionizable ions, and that is the reason they can be separated out in the solution form, right? So 3 moles of the Cl minus they can give in the solution form. The evidences are we have molar conductivity values I have given to you just before this, few minutes before. And the other important one is also the halogen test. These three Cls on reacting with a silver nitrate, they are giving a 3 moles of the silver chloride PPT, right? 3 moles of the silver chloride PPT they are giving. So these two are the very important evidences for this. So as of this, by checking these two, means one is the halogen test, this one, and another one is that there are the formation of 1 plus 3 4 ions. Because of forming the 4 ions, they are able to conduct the molar conductivity, right? They are able to generate some electricity. So that is around 430 per ohms of the current they can generate by 4 ions, by mobile mobility of these 4 ions in the electrolyte solution form. So these are the evidences they have given in the illustration. And I am taking one more example. So here this is giving a 3 moles of the silver chloride, right? If I take the another example, cobalt NH3 taken 4 times, and Cl2 and 1 Cl is outside. So this Cl is ionization sphere. This is present in the ionization sphere, and these two Cls are in the inside the coordination sphere. So they are having a intimate association with the central metal atom or ion, but this chloride is outside the coordination sphere. So that he said that according to his postulate, this chloride is far away from the cobalt, whereas these two chloride ions are inside the coordination sphere, nearer to the coordination sphere here. Right? So the coordination number is not changing, and these two chloride ions are satisfying both the valencies, that is primary as well as the secondary valency also. But this chloride is only satisfying the primary valency, means in solution form it can gives the only one ion only. So as a Cl minus it can dissociate. So this is one ion and this is one ion, total two ions will be there. So the molar conductivity range will be decreases if the two ions, right? So this is one ion, this is dissociating, and this complex carries the plus one oxidation state. So this is one ion, this is one ion, and the molar conductivity ratio will be, for two ions it is a 250 per ohms, right? Per ohms. So this is one evidence. The other evidence is this particular complex, if we add AgNO3, this particular complex, because of presence of one chloride ion in the ionization sphere, it can be precipitate 1 mole of silver chloride. So these are the evidences, right? So all these I have explained just now in the illustrations, and by these two evidences, molar conductivity values, and as well as the silver nitrate test, halogen test, we can predict the molecular formula of the these coordination complexes. So what are the ions present inside the coordination sphere, and what are the ions outside the coordination sphere, we can expect. And one more thing is, here the coordination number is fixed, right? Since it is fixed, the coordination number is 6 only. So by this also means, if the coordination number 6, it should be 6. And if it is giving, means the coordination number will not increases or decreases. So if it is giving the 3 moles of the silver chloride, then 3 chloride ions are present in the ionization sphere, right? So there will no chlorine is present inside the coordination sphere, so that all the 6 ammonia ligands are present in the coordination sphere only. So by this we can predict the exact molecular formula of the coordination complexes with the help of the postulates given by the Werner's theory. And the second application is structure. So as per Werner's theory, we can predict the structure of the molecules also. Coordination compounds are having a means fixed geometries. Why they are having a fixed geometries? Because the reason is, they are having a means primary valency, whatever the primary valency, the ligands which are uh, satisfying the primary valency, that is nothing but the oxidation state, right? Oxidation state. So they are binded with the central metal cation with the dotted lines, right? And they are far away from the uh, center metal cation, far away from the central metal cation, and they are ionizable, right? They are ionizable ions. They are ionizable ions, and which are present outside the coordination sphere. Whereas the ligands which are satisfying the secondary valency, they are having a fixed fixed dimensions fixed dimensions, because they are having a very intimate association with the central metal cation. That is the reason they are having a fixed dimensions in the space, three-dimensional space. So that if the coordination number 6 is there, the molecule is having the structure octahedral structure. And if the coordination number is 4, then the molecule is attaining the structure either tetrahedral or square planar. If this coordination number is 5, then they are having a square pyramidal structure, right? The square pyramidal structure is like this, the square in this way only. 4 ligands are on the same plane like this, similar to the square planar, and one is above the plane. So this molecule is above the plane. This ligand is above the plane. This is the square pyramidal structure, and this is for 5 ligands. 5 ligands means the coordination number 6. If the coordination number is 5, then this will be the geometry. So there is a geometry is associated with the coordination numbers also. There is a relationship between the coordination number as well as the structure of this particular molecules also. So if the coordination number is 3, then they are having a trigonal planar geometry, right? Trigonal planar geometry. So it is like this, trigonal planar geometry they are having if the coordination number is 3, right? So if the coordination number 2, then metal is having a linear structure with the coordination number 2. means two ligands only there. So like this, there is the link, there is a relationship between the coordination number as well as the structure of these molecules also. So by this Werner's theory we can predict, because he has given the secondary valency. He mentioned that this is a secondary valency. So there is a relationship. Secondary valency is nothing but the coordination number. So there is a relationship between the secondary valency, because the ligands, whatever the ligands which are satisfying the secondary valency are having a fixed dimensions, so that we can predict the structure of the molecule correctly. And the next one is the behavior of the molecule. So already we have seen in the Werner's theory, in the first slide of the Werner's theory only, we have discussed that the complexes with the same central metal cation and the same ligands, they are having a different types of the behavior. Means the colors, first he has observed the colors of the complexes only. So the complexes, the cobalt complexes with the 6 ammonia molecules, he has observed some yellow color, right? So he has observed with the 5 ammonia molecules some other color, violet color or purple color he has observed. And with coordination number 4, they are having it means two types of the colors it is giving, one is violet and one is green. So different types of the behavior is there, and they are having some magnetic properties also. But unfortunately he did not discuss about the magnetic properties. But certain that their behavior is completely changed. Means whatever the entities are there inside the coordination sphere, they are completely merging together and forming as a one entity. The product is not giving, means after formation of the complex, the product is not giving the characteristics test for the uh, whatever the its own individual properties it is not giving. For example, let us take the cobalt complex only. So how he has prepared? By taking cobalt trichloride, right? By taking trichloride, treating with the some excess of ammonia, right? By treating with some excess of ammonia, he has prepared some complexes. So some excess of ammonia, here I am taking some N, right? N I am taking, and it has been formed. For example, 6 I am taking here, N is equal to 6. So it is forming, it has formed a complex like NH3 taken 6 times and trichloride. So this is the complex it has been formed. But this complex, in this complex, actually here the cobalt is having its own properties, individual properties it can give, because it can dissociate into a cobalt plus 3 and the 3 chloride ions. And here chloride ions also can give its means they are having their individual properties. They can give characteristic test they can give, like a silver nitrate test, right? Halogen test, it is a conformational test for the chloride, right? For cobalt also the conformation means some its characteristic test it will be having. And ammonia is also having some its characteristic properties it is having, like some order, some um, uh, what ammonia smell will be there, right? Characteristic smell it is having, and some pungent odor it is having, and it can give a Nelson's reagent, right? Brick red color it can give. So this, when the complex is formed, this ammonia is not giving its own characteristic test, and like ammonia, cobalt is also not giving a its own characteristic test, and it has been turned into one single entity, and which is having some other properties, other behavior. The behavior is completely changed. Now here there is only two entities, that one is this complex ion, and other entity is 3 chloride ions. So in this way they are behavior means they are behaving. So why he has tried to explain the behavior of these complexes also. Why? How? Because there is the intimate close relationship is taking place between the this cobalt and ammonia. Why? Because ammonia is a satisfying a secondary valency of cobalt, that is coordination number. So because of this reason ammonia is having a strong bonds with the cobalt. So because of that reason all these are kept under the square brackets, and because of this reason they might not be ionizable, means they are non-ionizable molecules they are forming. That is the reason it is not dissociating. But chlorines are outside the coordination sphere. They are having a weaker bonds with the central metal cation, so that they are separating out in the presence of any other solvents, right? So these are only balancing the only oxidation state of the central metal cation only. So he justified why they are behaving like this. The next one is the very important one again, that is the isomerism. So he has been observed that so many complexes are having uh, the isomerism properties. Isomerism means what? The two or more than two molecules which are having a same molecular formula, but they behave separately, differently they behave. Same molecular formula they are having. For example, one molecular formula of such kind of the molecules, for example, is cobalt NH3 taken 4 times Cl2, and coordination number of cobalt here is 6. Okay, ammonia is satisfying the secondary valency. These two chlorides are satisfying the primary as well as the secondary valency, and one chlorine is there outside the coordination sphere. So this is the molecular formula now. Okay, so this same compound, the same molecular formula with the same molecular formula. Here actually what is iso means? Iso means same. The meaning of iso means same. Mers means units. Same number of units they are having. Any two compounds, if they are having a same number of units but they are structurally different, are some properties might be different, whatever. Okay, some two individual molecules, if they are having the same number of units, same molecular formula, those are called as the isomers, right? Isomers. So with the same molecular formula we already discussed that uh, this two types of the colors it is giving, right? So first thing is we have to know what is the structure of this particular molecule. So here the picture is, okay. So this is the one is the cis form, cis isomer, and another one is the trans isomer. And trans isomer is having a color, green color it is giving, whereas cis isomer is having a violet color compound. So uh, this but actually both are having a same number of units. Only thing is here the chlorine is in axial position and one more chlorine is in the equatorial position, but these are called as a cis compound. Cis compound means adjacent to each other, adjacent to each other. So they are called as the cis compounds. And the trans compound is the chlorine is opposite to each other, right? Chlorine is having a which is opposite to another chlorine here. If you take the angle between these two, there is a 180 degrees angle is there, but here 90 degrees angle will be there. So these are called as a trans isomer. This trans compound is having a green color, and the cis compound, cis isomer, is called as a violet color. And now we can see very popular complexes, the platinum complexes. Actually, these are called as a cisplatin, is used as a drug in a medicine for to treat this cancer patients, right? Cisplatin, it is called as a cisplatin. So if the chlorines, two chlorines are on the same side, that is called as a cis compound, and this cisplatin is used as a medicine for the cancer patients, to treat the cancer patient, but not trans complex, right? So the trans is having some other properties here, so that is the reason, but both are having same number of units. See here, the central metal cation is same, two ammonia groups are there, here also two ammonia, but they are opposite to each other, and two chlorine atoms are there, and they are also opposite to each other, right? They are also opposite to each other. Their molecular formula is platinum ammonium diammonium dichloro platinum 2. 2 plus 2 is the oxidation state of cobalt here. So this is about, this is the isomerism, this type of the isomerism he has found in many complexes are having a this kind of the isomerism. Actually, this is comes under the geometrical isomerism, but not only geometrical isomerism, we can even find ionization isomerism, hydrate isomerism, coordinate isomerism, structural isomerism, linkage isomerism, etc. in this coordination sphere, coordination compounds. And these are the very important applications of Werner's theory. And next one is the limitations of Werner's theory. In the limitations, he could not able to explain about the color property of the complexes, because the so many complexes, not so many, almost all the complexes are having a see here, these are the titanium complex which is having a some purple color, and vanadium complexes are having a four variations of the colors. See here, purple color, green color, blue color, and yellow color, means as per its variable oxidation states. In plus 2 oxidation state, vanadium plus 2, it is having a purple color, and vanadium plus 3 green color, and the vanadium plus 4 blue color, vanadium plus 5, it is having a yellow color. And similarly, chromium is also having a some three variations of the colors, right? As per their variable oxidation state. In plus 2 oxidation state, blue color it is having, plus 3 oxidation state, green color it is having, and plus 6 oxidation state, orange color it is having. Manganese complexes, mostly they are having a pinkish colors only, and iron color, so in plus 2 it is having a some greenish blue color, it is having very pale green actually, and in plus 3 oxidation state, yellow color it will give. And similar way, in a complexes again they will be different. These are the transition metals with their in their oxidation state, variable oxidation state I have tried to give it, right? So he could not able to explain why these metal ions, why these complexes are having some elegant colors. So what is the reason for that? The reason, once again I'm telling you, because at that time he doesn't know about the electronic theory of valency, so which is explained by Lewis in the year of 1924 only. But Werner's theory, when he has explained the Werner's theory in 1993, he has explained. So in 1924, Lewis has explained the electronic theory of valency, right? Electronic theory of valency was explained by the Lewis in the year 1924. Werner's theory explained in the 1893. So this much difference is there, this many years difference is there between these two theories. That is the reason he could not explain the color property of the uh, this coordination complexes. And second one is the magnetic properties, and these complexes are also behaving like most of the complexes are having a means when they are kept under the external magnetic field like this is the external magnetic field, and these are the metal balls actually. So these compounds are having a magnetic properties. So how, why these complexes are having such a paramagnetic ferromagnetic properties? So he could not able to explain. Again, the reason is same. And the next one is the geometry of the molecules. The geometry, he has explained some sort of the geometry, means he tried to explain the geometry structures along with the coordination number, means secondary valency. He tried to correlate, but actually the geometry of the actual structures, how they will form, and this bonding also, the bond, how the coordinate covalent bonds they are forming, also he could not able to explain. Means why only certain types of the ligands are forming a some strong bonds with the central metal cation, and other ligands are ionizable state, and they are not forming the coordinate covalent bonds. What is the reason behind that? Okay, he could not explain, and that is a lack of geometry actually, but he tried to explain the structures by relating with the coordination number, like if the coordination number 4, then they are having a tetrahedral or square planar geometry, or 5 is their square pyramidal geometries they are having, and if coordination number 6, octahedral geometry. So he has given, but how they are forming the bonds he has not given. uh, means how the bond exactly it is forming he has not given. So these are the limitations of the Werner's theory. These are the some of the limitations of the Werner's theory. And the second one is, the another one is, his theory doesn't have any theoretical or um, what theoretical proof or any um, practical proof. He does not having any theoretical or practical proof actually to justify his theory. So this theory is remained as the empirical theory for so many years. So many years this theory is remained as an empirical theory. That means he has explained, means this might be happen. He predicted all these things, but he does not have at that time in the year of 1893. He does not have the sources to explain. Means he doesn't know about the electronic theory of valency at that time. Because of that reason, he could not explain. So this is because of this reason they are having some color properties or magnetic properties or geometries, and because of this reason, means electronic theory of valency, they are forming a, means coordinate covalent bonds, and these are the very stronger bonds. So all those were explained by the next theories, like some of them are explained in the valency bond theory, and some are explained in crystal field theory. And next theory is the Sedgwick theory actually. Sedgwick theory, he has, as per Sedgwick theory, he tried to explain, he has proven that each and every postulate of Werner was true, 100% correct, by applying the the this electronic theory of valency, which was given by Lewis in the year 1924. And Sidgwick proposed his theory in the year of 1926 by applying the electronic theory of valency. So that is the reason Sidgwick theory is also called as a electronic interpretation of Werner's theory. Sidgwick theory is also called as electronic interpretation of Werner's theory. So this is about the Werner's theory. Thank you for watching.